10 seconds.
Hey there, my name is Mike Bianca. I'm the coach of the professional paintball team San Diego Dynasty, and you're listening to the XBall Podcast.
Game on.
Question 1. Where do you live, and what's something cool about it for you? I live in a small town called Leeds, Alabama, Leeds. It's about 20 miles east of Birmingham. Let's see, as far as something that I find cool about it, well, it's called the City of Valor. The reason being is that 3 Medal of Honor winners were born and raised here. Coming from a military family, I think that's not only cool, but obviously there's something in the water to have 3 legitimate war heroes, from the same town. It's incredible. I think 2 were from World War II, and 1 was from the Korean War. The Korean War recipient was a Marine by the name of Alfred McLaughlin, I think. He was a master sergeant. Pretty incredible story. If you get a chance, look him up. Question 2. You were announced as the new coach of San Diego Dynasty during the 2024-2025 offseason. How has your experience been coaching the most successful paintball team in history? Well, first of all, it's a great honor. I was honestly humbled, and it means the world to me to be in this position. It isn't lost upon me that these men have built an incredible legacy, and to be a part of it is pretty exciting. I'm following in the footsteps of guys like Rusty Glaze, Mike Hinman, Kevin Bredhauer, all incredible coaches. It's been an amazing and eye-opening adventure, and I've loved every single moment of it. I may be the coach, but I'm still learning a tremendous amount each time I'm around them. I get to work with and be a part of not only a historically successful team, but I get to hang out with some pretty stellar human beings too. I remember when Ryan Greenspan called me, one of the things he said to me that really resonated, he said that he had won pretty much everything there was to win at this point in his career, and that he gets joy out of helping others win. And then he said, hey, come win with me. And I thought that was very compelling, right? It sold me right there. I've always believed that leadership or coaching is servitude and putting those you serve in a position to succeed. So coming into the Dynasty camp, everyone wants everyone to be the best version of themselves. So there's that push, right? I had to ask myself an important question. What can I do, or rather, what do I need to do to best serve this team, to complement their culture? These guys already know how to win, so my job is to try and complement that system to the best of my ability, right? To use my talents and capabilities to help the team. The entire team was so welcoming, and what I love most is that we all want to be there. I think that is why we've seen the success we have so far this season. After so many people counted the team out during the offseason, we want to be there doing what we love, right? The personalities, the work ethic, the intelligence, the culture, it's all symbiotic, and quite frankly, it's inspiring. Don't get me wrong, there are challenges and speed bumps, but I think that every team deals with that, and it's the teams that know how to respond appropriately, that overcome the adversity, that have success and longevity. And, well, Dynasty obviously does that well. So I'm becoming a better person because of it. Question number 3. I know you were in Orlando for the ESPN show and saw it in person. What aspects of the whole experience did you love? I'm going to cop out on this question, and here's why, or rather how. Go watch episode 81 of The Coach's Show on Major League Paintball's YouTube channel. Ryan Gray and I, we spill all the tea there, including what I loved, and as well as what I didn't, or what I thought could be better. Question 4. Can you name any challenges or tough moments you faced as a paintball coach, if there are any? Yeah, that's... I think I've talked about this before. Removing emotion from decision-making, right? I fancy myself a stoic. That doesn't, just because I practice it doesn't mean I'm good at it or I don't struggle with it. But I believe one of the most important qualities of a coach is the ability to build rapport with your players. So there has to be a trust there, a relationship of some sort, preferably a positive one. Any leadership role should incorporate building trust. And you do this by demonstrating integrity as well as leading by example, especially in the accountability column. I'm a firm believer in that one. The buck stops here. But that being said, as you build these relationships and you become close with your players, or maybe you already were close, you'll find yourself in a position where you have to make a tough decision about your friends' capabilities, right? Their playing time. For a lot of coaches, it's an easy call. And for the most part, it is for me too. And that's only because my role is to put the team's best foot forward. That's what I'm there for, right? To make those types of decisions. It's after the match or after the event when you get those questions, why didn't I play or what did I do wrong? The solution to that is simply managing expectations beforehand. And of course, culture, right? Culture is a huge part of it. Off layout and layout practices where you have those conversations. The player has to have some skin in the game too, right? They have to be self-aware as well. And I'm blessed on Dynasty to have all of that. I think every coach is looking for consistency in execution. And that doesn't stop when you get to the pro level, by the way. I mean, if a coach isn't trying to help develop a player, why are you there? But yeah, looking your player in the eye and saying, hey, this isn't your point, your match, your layout or whatever. I think that can be a struggle sometimes. Question 5. Should Pro Paintball adopt limited paint? Please answer with yes or no first and explain why. Maybe? I know it's not a yes or no. I'm not opposed to it, but I think the real question is, what are we trying to achieve with that? If the goal is to speed the games up, you might meet the goal, but certainly not in every circumstance. Look at the European Pro League where they have limited paint in their average point per match. I don't think it's much different than the average in the States. I think the last one held in England averaged 5, maybe 6 points per match. I'd have to go look, but I'm pretty confident in that. The Cincinnati event averaged, 5 until Sunday? So a lot of factors go into it, right? The team's play style, the layout. Anyway, I guess, yeah. I mean, what's the goal, I guess, would be my question back. Are we trying to reduce costs? Are we trying to speed the game up? What are we trying to achieve by doing that? Question 6. What does mental toughness mean to you in pro paintball? Resilience, what most would call grit, not giving up, not getting deterred. When you face setbacks, when you face adversity, it's standing in front of the mirror and saying, I am, right? I didn't lose, I learned, and I'm better for it. It's not about winning all the time. It's knowing you can win. I think that's important. Mindset is such an important part of sports. And it's really important in paintball because a bad call here or a bounced ball there, so many variables go into having a successful event. Being positive and recognizing there's work to do. That's, it's the difference between motivation and discipline. Being motivated is easy, but it takes discipline to act on it. So yeah, I would say mental toughness in paintball is grit and discipline. Question 7. What kinds of situations during a match can throw you off or make you frustrated, either on or off the field? Okay. Probably when players lose composure during a match or maybe even outside the net, before, after, or what have you. But when players lose composure, right? You just asked me about mental toughness, and I think that plays a lot into it. I'm a grown man. My players are grown men. I don't feel the need to yell or cuss at them, to make my point. They're not children. Now, don't get me wrong. I will yell and cuss when necessary. I'm certainly not above it. There's some that, there are a lot of camps out there that believe you have to really give it to someone for them to understand the gravity of the situation or whatever. And that very well may be true, but I believe that if I can point a mistake out to you, whether through a question or a statement, let you process it in your own way, you're going to retain or come back quicker and a lot of times better. If I put you on blast in front of everyone and really lean into you by yelling or whatever, I'm showing an emotional side. I'm more likely to be perceived as a threat. And you, in turn, that's adversely going to affect your processing of the mistake. And I'm starting you off at a lower level and dealing with it, meaning you have to come up from a deeper place to get back to square, right? Why would I want to handicap my player that way? I don't want to do that at all. I need him back in the fight, right? So look, again, there's some players that respond well to intense, coaching or whatever it is. As a coach, you have to learn who those players are and implement it in the best way you see fit. Question 8. Favorite team to play against in the league? What a cool question. I love the chess matches, matching wits with other coaches, countering play styles, watching my boys execute against a different style team. I love all that, right? Gosh. Right now I would say Red Legion, Damage, and the Ironman, right? One, because all three are coached by good friends of mine, but two, they're always good matches, and there's such a rich history behind, those teams and this team and Dynasty, right? So I would say, Legion, Damage, and Ironman. Question 9. As a coach, what are some do's and don'ts you set for your team during practices and throughout the tournaments? I don't think I said any do's or don'ts. Obviously, I don't want my guys drinking alcohol, during practice or practice layout weekend or the event weekend, etc. But I want them hydrated. I want them eating right. I want them getting good sleep, good rest. You have to remember, Dynasty was doing this long before I showed up, and they have it pretty well together. We're a pretty well-oiled machine. I'll say this. I like organization, right? I like structure. So that's one thing I try to bring to the team. Don't be late. Don't be disrespectful to each other. Not that they are, but, listen to each other, that sort of thing. The Dynasty culture is pretty cut and dry. We're there to be our best, and you can only be that way by making good decisions heading into the event. And we're there to have fun. Executing well is fun. So, yeah. Question 10. What's the most important difference in mindset for you when going into the prelims versus Sunday Paintball? Oh, there is no difference. We treat, maybe I shouldn't speak for everyone on the team, but I treat every match as if we were playing Dynasty. I know it sounds crazy, but that's something I've always done even since I was playing, right? Treat every team as if you're playing Dynasty. Some might say, but you're coaching Dynasty now. Yep, that's exactly right. Treat every team as if you are playing Dynasty, right? I don't look past anyone. Every match is important. So every opportunity to gain data, to gain knowledge, to adjust, to adapt, to execute. Every match is its own opportunity to be your best and make your best better. Question 11. When a referee makes a call you think is really unfair, do you feel it's important to let them know and argue a bit to try and shift the momentum to your team's side, or would you rather just move on and let it go? Well, I'm blessed to have two gentlemen in my staff, Eric Crandall and Junior Brown. I'll usually get upset when things like that happens. Sure, who doesn't? But my focus has to be on getting my guys back on focus, right? So ready for the next point. We control what we control, and so that is that's where my attention goes, or perhaps I should say needs and should go. But Junior and Eric are such good support. They usually, go into action and handle it. They'll go address it, allowing me to get the guys back on task. So, but yeah, if the call is egregious, I can get distracted. And Junior and Eric usually call me off, and then they go handle it. For those coaches that don't have an incredible support staff like me, let me ask you this. How many times have you argued a call in the field and it was overturned? If you know it's 99% futile, just something to think about. Question 12. Can you share one or two things that set a great player apart from a good one? Sure. We talked about one earlier. Mindset. Mindset is one. Great players have great discipline. They continue to work at things even when they don't want to, right? They push themselves. Let's say a player is at 80%. He's tired. Maybe something else has happened, but he's not 100%. The great player is going to give every single ounce, all 100% of that 80% he has, right? A good player won't. I don't remember who said it, but it is so true. Good players will win when everything is going right, when everything is working, Great players, on the other hand, win even when things are going wrong, when nothing is working. So there's that differential. Something else I think sets great players apart is adaptability, or rather creativity, right? At the pro level, the vast majority can lane and snap and all that, but it's the players who truly know the craft, right? They know the flow of the game, and they can mold it and adapt it to their will. The great players, they have discipline, drive, experience or knowledge, right? They've seen a lot of situations and scenarios that they can go into that mental Rolodex, and they have adaptability and creativity. Question 13. Most epic music concert you've been to, year, band, and city. Man, you're going to break my brain. That's a tough one. Though the first one that comes to mind would be Ozzy Osbourne with Sepultura and Typo Negative. That was an incredible evening. I believe that was in Jackson, Mississippi in 94 or 95 maybe. It's another. Queensryche, Metallica. I think that was 89. I think that was in Huntsville. The band Chicago. Yeah. What a great show. That would have been in 98. No, I'm sorry, 88. That would have been in 88. Also in Huntsville. And then Buddy Guy in Memphis in 1998. That was such a great show. And I remember that one, not just because of the company I was with, but because of the absolutely incredible show Buddy put on during Memphis in May. Question 14. How much do you know about paintball in Iran? I would classify myself as quite ignorant regarding paintball in Iran. I do know that you have a federation or an association or something to that extent. And of course, I'm familiar with what you, the XBall Podcast, does. I love what you guys do. But unfortunately, that is the extent of my knowledge. Question 15. What do you love most about the United States? Didn't anticipate this question. But I have an answer nonetheless. If one asks an American what they love most about the U.S., their answer, I would imagine more often than not, is the freedom, or rather the freedoms we enjoy over other nations. Now, there's there's definitely a vocal minority here who will tell you how horrible and terrible we are. But I don't think they understand the irony of them being able to say that freely, much less the amenities this country provides compared to others, right? So America is still, for the most part, though it has changed significantly over the years, that shiny city on the hill. And I believe that the Constitution of the United States was written by some of the most intelligent and thoughtful men to walk the earth. So yeah, I love the freedoms I enjoy here in the United States. That's what I love most.
Point approved. Game time finished. Game stopped.